Click the links to join the channel here over at Subscribestar. Got a mailbox. I want to mail me some comics. So controversial race swapping in upcoming Agatha Christie adaptation, because I'm sure that's exactly what she'd want. If you're familiar with Agatha Christie, she was based for her time. Oddly enough, so was H.G. Wells. On Earth to a Comet or something like that. One of his books has had some very funny scenes in them. So how could these people make such a bold decision that is stunning and brave? Sniffs another line of cocaine. I tell you what, make him black and gay. The other guy in the room, other degenerate. No. Gay is too far. It's 1939. Just make him black. And the guy agrees. Okay, but really, really black. Does it make sense? No, it doesn't have to. Will anyone watch it? Only the girls at the Mary Sue, who all need to get married, have babies, and stop all this feminist nonsense. So the BBC, so they're probably watching it through a VPN or something. Upcoming BBC adaptation of Agatha Christie's Murder is Easy has made a controversial but all too common change to the lead character. The main character, Luke Fitzwilliam, has been given a Nigerian background, erasing the author's original artistic intent, and poor old Fitzwilliam there, further marginalizing and oppressing the Fitzwilliams of the world, giving the 1939 novel a young black hero. Something no Christie story has ever had, because she didn't want to have them. She wrote the characters as is. Fitzwilliam is the character. Why would you disrespect the author like that? because we're Bolsheviks, I'll say. So they're putting a sun man in the English story from 80 years ago because you're in Weimar Cultural Revolution, where they have to destroy the past as much as possible. The left wing and ISIS both destroy history. In 1984, every year is year zero. So let's swap out the English or Irishman for this guy, so he can properly tell the English story that she intended. Because there's nobody better to tell a European story than a non-European. You know, if she intended to have a Nigerian in the role, she would have written that in 1939. She didn't intend it. If you want to write something new, why don't you write something new? Because evil cannot create, and these people are the worst people on earth. I honestly don't think they're from this plane of existence. So the media reports that Christie's great-grandson, holder of the estate, insists the author would have approved. No, she would not have. He says that the mystery writer would not only approve of the change, but felt the adaptations of her novel needed to be changed to justify the change of medium. No. Okay, so the first, he's talking about the plays were done by other people, and she didn't like them because she didn't think they were radical enough for the change in medium. So what specifically are you referring to? It's weird, like you don't get specific examples. She recognized when you change the medium, you need to shift the story, okay, from a book to a play. Yes, you need to edit out scenes that don't work in a play. Plays has to be a little bit shorter. I also believe these are adaptations, not translations. By removing Fitzwilliams, is that Irish, for a Nigerian, someone from how many thousands of miles away, comes from a completely different culture, background, ethnicity, DNA structure. The whole worldview is different. But to left-wingers, they believe people are fungible. It's part of the Bolshevik worldview that you're just cogs in a machine, and you can swap out a Irishman for a Nigerian, and it tells the same story. But people have these, you think of like a spider web or something. People have all these, or more like a neural network, because it's not this concentric radiating outward. It's kind of going in all these different directions, all these different connections to things. And the Irishmen or the Englishmen have a certain set of millions of these connections that make the person what they are, their story, their culture, their history, their background, their DNA, their blood. And a Nigerian has a different set of connections. And to Bolsheviks, they think you can cut one out and just replace it. It's like, but the connections are all severed. Now you have a rootless character. You have no story. You have no depth, no verisimilitude, no, what's another fancy word for depth that I'm looking for? Not magnitude, gravity, gravitas, something like that. everything is just shallow and plastic F-doll. It's just Hollywood. It's like they've Hollywoodified Agatha Christie's story, which was the intent. That's what they really cannot create. So the adaptations of the play from a book, it's like, yes, of course, there are going to be adaptations, but you don't swap out the European for the Nigerian. It doesn't make sense. And yeah, like they said, to be fair, it's unlikely having the opposite take would help the estate in any way. What's the guy going to come out and say? Like, no, I mean, thing is, like, find your balls. Just say, no, it's got to be as written. That's not what her original intent was. We should stick to the artist's intent as much as possible. Why do you think Peter Jackson's movies were such a masterpiece? Because he openly came out and said, like, yeah, we're going to try to follow Tolkien's writing as closely as possible to honor him. Because he's the guy who created the thing. You're not some kind of cargo cult that gets everything wrong and doesn't understand the core of the story. And these people go, oh, well, it's not important. Well, yeah, it is. It is, because that's why he wrote it. If he didn't think it was important, he would have wrote it differently. And if you want to write something, write something. The thing is, this is all part of a humiliation ritual for a conquered people, and it will continue until you stop it. When will the normie awaken? Nevermore, quoth the raven. You know, maybe. We'll see. We're doing the Lord's work on Odyssey and BitChute. How do you destroy someone's story like this and be proud of yourself? To be fair, for him, it's just a paycheck, I understand. But even then, I would have been more careful in my interview and given respect to the origin story and openly admit what a radical departure this is. Here's the thing. They take their ethnicity and culture seriously, but they hate yours and are offended if you do the same. And it doesn't change until a critical mass of people have that come to Jesus/Odin moment, you know, with the raven, and go down the rabbit hole and learn to see the monsters pushing this, which is all of Hollywood because they're bad people from another realm of existence. So it takes people to stop supporting these Hollywood globalist propaganda companies, and because that's what it is. It's not entertainment, it's not history, it's just propaganda. And then to talk about this anti-European racism and erasure of the European people and stories. And I know it sounds a little weird to phrase it in with that kind of nomenclature, but that's how they phrase it. And you have to talk to them on their level about marginalization and oppression and disenfranchisement. Like, yeah, that's what you're doing to the European people who created these stories. Oh, no, it's different. No, it's not. It's the same thing. We feel it's the same thing. We feel it's even worse. Because, I mean, once you have an appeal to emotion, like, you can stay in the appeal to emotion land. Honestly, arguing with them on Twitter is a whole lot of fun. I can't believe I'm still on there. So they'll gaslight you and they'll ad hominem because they don't have any other line of reasoning except their anti-white hatred. And it's okay to call out these very bad people for the very bad people they are. A little substitution on the fly because I don't know how many times I can say certain hot words. So everything from Netflix, Disney, or BBC and the rest is designed to push a narrative to get the world to hate you and dehumanize you and degrade you, and it's working very well. Hollywood and the media is the source of all this evil. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, join us over at Subscribe Star, and I'll see you guys on next episode.